请看看你是不是你自己. Please take a look and see if you are yourself. Xiefeng. October 5th, 2020. Edited by Qin Yu. If we have interacted with many people, we will find that people change and are unpredictable. We cannot figure out what kind of person they really are. There is a saying that human hearts are hard to fathom. Even after decades of being together, we may still find the other person to be a stranger, causing us to feel lost in life. At this time, when we feel that others are difficult to fathom, we need to have a self-recognition. Who am I really? Am I myself? Am I also a fickle and unpredictable person? It is not difficult to know oneself, and we can reason it out this way. You see a peach tree with ripe peaches hanging from its branches. You pick one, take a bite, and feel the sweetness and fragrance in your mouth. You like it from the bottom of your heart and believe that this peach is a fairy peach. However, someone comes over and tells you that this peach is a demonic peach, which will turn people into demons when eaten. Later, someone else says that this peach is a desire peach, which will generate desires in people. Desires are like the chains that drag people down to hell. The question is, what will you do now? Will you continue to eat or stop eating from now on? If you follow your own feelings and continue to eat, then you are yourself. If you listen to the evaluations of others and stop eating, then you are not yourself. You are just a puppet, possessed by the consciousness of others. Have you ever experienced the taste of sexual love, especially the excitement brought by having an affair? If you feel excited, wonderful, and blissful and want to enjoy this happiness for the rest of your life, what will you do when you see an article that describes the harm of sex, such as your energy is going to drain from below and warns of the difficulty of becoming enlightened due to lustful thoughts? If you continue to enjoy the sexual pleasure and ignore the teachings of others, even ignoring the teachings of Buddhists and gods, then you are yourself. On the other hand, if you restrain the driving force in your heart and no longer engage in sexual activity, then you are not yourself. You are a puppet controlled by the thoughts of others, without any intellectual or independent consciousness. You cannot be considered a complete and independent person. Suppose you are a Chanyuan celestial. You have lived in the new oasis for life, and you sincerely like this new way of life and want to live in it for the rest of your life. Now, someone says that Life Chanyuan is a cult and an illegal organization, and Xiefeng is a big demon who cheats people out of money and sex. What will you do? You start to waver, gradually moving away from Life Chanyuan and no longer daring to live in the new oasis for life, fearing that you will be deceived or suppressed. At this point, you have betrayed your own heart, abandoned your true feelings, and you are no longer yourself. You have been kidnapped by fear and have lost your true self. People often say that they should stick to the truth, but what is the truth? At the most basic level, the truth is your inner feelings, your inner driving force. When you listen to external judgments and preaching and go against your innermost driving force to speak and act, you have violated the truth. When you violate the truth, you are not yourself, you are a fake person. The words you speak do not come from yourself. You are just a megaphone. You will always be influenced by the outside world, and you have no roots. During my time at the Beijing University of International Business and Economics, I had a roommate who always said, "My wife said." Regardless of the topic, he always said, "My wife said." Later, we gave him a nickname, Mrs. Said. Is he still himself? Of course not. He is just a shadow of his wife. There are many such people. Some say, "My mother said." Some say, "My master said." Some say, "The guru said." Some say, "The Buddha said." Some say, "The organization said," and so on. These people have no selves and cannot find themselves. Of course, this no self is miles away from selflessness. Every day on the internet, we can see articles that come like a tsunami, but upon careful reading, we find that they are all things taken from others. Some have only been slightly decorated, but fundamentally, they are not their own true voice and feelings. It is very unfortunate that once you cannot find yourself, cannot live out your true self, you will ultimately regret it, and regret it for the rest of your life. Don't believe me? Go ask people over 60 years old who have lived their whole lives following others' correct and instructive ways, never living according to their true desires. As they near death, can they not regret it? Yesterday, in a WeChat group, I saw the woman say a few words. She said, "People around me always ask me to be more stable." Be stable, my ass. I am like a grasshopper in the autumn, and I can't jump around for many more days. What's stability? After reading her heartfelt words, I felt that a true person had emerged. Only the world of true people is the most exciting world, and only in the life of true people is there a heavenly life. If the surroundings are full of fake people, floating like ghosts, how can life be happy and fulfilling? How can one not be lost? 走出他人设置的程序圈圈 Breaking out of the program circles set by others. Xiefeng, January 29th, 2023. Edited by Qin Yu. I installed a towel rack yesterday, which gave me a revelation. If I followed the manufacturer's complicated installation process, I would have had a difficult time installing it, and it may not have even been successful. So, I thought, it's just a towel rack. Why must I follow the manufacturer's installation process? I discarded almost all of the parts that the manufacturer provided and thought of a solution that followed the principle of least resistance. In the end, I easily installed the towel rack, and it not only looked sturdy but also perfect. Think about our lives. We are born into this world and must live until we eventually enter the grave. We only have a few decades to navigate the great river of life. Where can we find the easiest and simplest path through this journey? Think about all those celebrities, officials, wealthy individuals, experts, professors, judges, lawyers, and so on. No matter how illustrious and honorable their lives may have been, they also only lived for a few decades. Once they die, they become nothing. Those who live their lives in a constant rush, busy pursuing their goals, before they know it, they are old and about to enter the grave. They competed and struggled throughout their lives, only to have everything they gained become nothing. If we play out the process of human birth to death, we will discover that human life is both sad and pitiful. Some people take pride and arrogance in the prosperity of their descendants, but what is pitiful is that they themselves have only been living in a dream. As they die, their dreams shatter, and few of their descendants will visit their graves to burn incense and pay their respects. Even if their descendants come to burn incense and pay respects every day, they will never feel the memory and mourning of their offspring. Let's take a look at the life trajectory of an ordinary person. Birth, education, work, marriage, children, supporting their family and children, retirement, and then death. What have they experienced throughout this journey? They have experienced joy, sickness, struggle, sexual happiness, fatigue, hardship, anxiety, worry, pain, anger, frustration, and fear. We suddenly realize that human life is simply replicating the path of our predecessors. Except for changes in tools and material prosperity, the essence of human existence has hardly changed. Have you noticed? Everyone is following someone else's program circle, just like home buyers taking out loans and making monthly payments according to the program designed by the seller and the bank, being misled by the program into having unrealistic dreams. And marriage, starting a family, having children, and retirement are all programs designed by others, and the vast majority of people spend their entire lives in this magical program. I discarded the manufacturer's design and complex program and installed the towel rack in a simpler and easier way. To make life more valuable and meaningful, one must step out of the program circle designed by others. Otherwise, they can only follow in the footsteps of those who came before. In life, there are only two things that are most valuable and meaningful. One is to make oneself happy, and the other is to find the path to heaven. Everything else is nonsense. From the perspective of maintaining happiness and finding the path to heaven, 95% of people spend their lives talking nonsense, doing nonsense, and worrying and being anxious about nonsense. 看看自己有没有生存的价值. Take a look at whether you have any value in existence. Xiefeng, June 11th, 2023. Edited by Qin Yu. Everything in the world has its own value, and every person has their own value in existence. If something loses its value or a person loses his value, it doesn't mean that the value itself disappears. It means that the thing or the person is in the wrong time and place or engaged in the wrong occupation. A pile of cow dung has value when placed at the roots of plants, but it loses its value when placed on a sandy beach. A diamond has value when set in a crown, but it loses its existence value when buried in the ground. Someone with a great singing voice has value as a singer, but they have no value as a coal miner. A person skilled in gardening can create enormous value in a field, but if they engage in artificial intelligence research, they cannot demonstrate their value in existence. A shallow but sexually appealing girl has value in engaging in nightlife work, but if she manages a company, she not only fails to demonstrate her value but may also bring chaos to the company. When treasures are misplaced or used incorrectly, they become garbage. But when garbage is placed correctly, it becomes a treasure. A genius engaged in the wrong profession becomes a fool, while a fool engaged in the right profession becomes a genius. If Elon Musk had continued to live in South Africa, he would have been just a minor employee in some company. If he had lived in certain countries, he would have been labeled as mentally ill and sent to a mental institution. But by entering the United States, he became a world-renowned genius among geniuses. I believe that there are no idiots, mediocre individuals, or wasted talents in the world. Everyone is a genius, outstanding, and capable. The reason why there are many fools, mediocre individuals, and wasted talents is that they haven't been placed in the right positions or given the opportunity to showcase their natural talents. What causes geniuses to become fools, mediocrities, or wasted talents? The answer is marriage and family, national consciousness, state consciousness, religious ideologies, and centralized management systems. Why are there no fools, mediocrities, or wasted talents in heaven? Because there is no marriage and family, no national or state consciousness, no religion, and no centralized administrative management. Why do many people spend their whole lives practicing cultivation or Buddhism but ultimately fail to achieve enlightenment? Because if they lose their true nature and act according to their heart, how can they become immortals or Buddhas? True cultivation lies in not deliberately cultivating, true achievement lies in not striving, true planning lies in not scheming, and the divine will lies in not desiring. Any deliberate cultivation, education, guidance, or effort to achieve a purpose is the most effective way to turn oneself and others into fools, mediocrities, or wasted talents. Can you breathe fresh air while living in smog? Can you become a philosopher while living under autocratic rule? If you cannot demonstrate your value in existence, or even live a life without value, subjective factors account for 3 points, and objective factors account for 7 points. Even if you are a unique and extraordinary plant, you cannot emit a hint of greenness in the cold winter covered in ice and snow. It can be attributed to timing, luck, and destiny. 人造环境，环境造人. Humans create the environment transforms humans. Xiefeng. June 7, 2023. Edited by Qin Yu. Nature has bestowed upon humanity all the resources for life. How to utilize these natural resources to create a beautiful and comfortable environment depends on the richness of the human spirit and soul. We can observe the yards of different households. Some families, although not economically affluent, have clean and tidy yards with blooming flowers and fruit trees. On the other hand, some families have lifeless yards filled with garbage, dirty and unkempt. With the same conditions, different individuals create different living environments. When we look at the social living environments in countries like the United States, China, and Japan, we find stark differences. In the United States, private property and territory are sacred and inviolable. In China, there is a promotion of wealth equality and common prosperity. In Japan, private enterprises are protected, allowing century-old businesses to thrive. This indicates that the values of Americans, Chinese, and Japanese are completely different, resulting in vastly different social living environments. For example, there is a piece of land in front of a house. Some people prefer to transform it into a lawn, while others prefer to grow vegetables. Some may turn it into a small square. Different consciousness leads to different environmental choices. From this, we can understand that the environment is a product of human consciousness. The kind of consciousness one possesses determines their living environment. Conversely, the environment can transform individuals. The story of Mencius Mother's 3 Moves Best illustrates the impact of the environment on a person. Mencius' mother moved 3 times in order to provide a better environment for her son's growth. Initially, They lived near a cemetery, where Mencius would play among the graves. His mother realized that staying there would ruin her child's potential, so they moved next to a market. However, Mencius would spend his days playing as if he were a merchant. His mother felt that this place wouldn't allow her son to grow healthily, so they moved again, this time next to a school. There, Mencius would engage in games of ritual and respect. The environment, being a graveyard, led Mencius to learn funeral customs and blow trumpets. The environment being a slaughterhouse, Mencius learned how to butcher pigs and sheep. The environment being a school, Mencius developed a love for reading and learning etiquette. Understanding the principle that humans create environment and environment transforms humans establishes a guiding beacon for human development. As individuals, we should first determine what kind of person we want to become. If we aspire to be materially wealthy, we should go to places where money is abundant and markets are prosperous. If we want to be skilled debaters, we should go to places with many people and lively debates. If we desire to become celestial beings, we should immerse ourselves in the serene beauty of nature with few inhabitants. If we aspire to become a Buddha, we should seek environments where we have nothing but possess everything. Living with virtuous people is like entering a room filled with fragrant orchids. If you stay there for a long time and will not smell their fragrance, that's because you are influenced by and used to them. Living with wicked people is like entering a fish market. If you stay there for a long time and will not smell the stench, that's also because you are influenced by and used to them. If you want to emanate a pleasant fragrance, surround yourself with flowers. If you want to emit a foul odor, stay in the toilet. If you deeply understand that you are currently in the toilet and aspire to live among flowers, the best way is to leave the toilet, break free from its confines, and enter an environment where flowers bloom. The principles are clear, the path is well defined, but the dilemma lies in how to break free from the barriers of the toilet. It's difficult, especially when there are entanglements of family, emotions, and debts. Escaping the toilet is as challenging as reaching the blue sky. In the end, we will realize that heaven exists, but we cannot step beyond the door of the toilet. The greatest obstacle that prevents us from transcending is the ties of family, emotions, and debts. Once we are free from these attachments, heaven is not far away. However, who among ordinary people can truly overcome the threshold of family, emotions, and debts? 谁在卡中国脖子? Who is strangling China? Xiefeng. June 5, 2023. Edited by Qin Yu. Once someone's neck is caught, the symptoms include difficulty breathing, sore throat, headache, dizziness, loss of motivation, facial redness. Online, it is said that American imperialism has been strangling China. Has China really had trouble breathing and a loss of motivation? Absolutely not. China is the world's second-largest economy, known as a powerful nation, and a country that vows to take revenge no matter the distance. How can a country composed of over 1.4 billion people be strangled by a country with a population of just over 300 million? Are we pretending to be pitiful, as if someone is strangling our necks? Is China really that pitiful? It is a contemptuous and insulting statement to portray China as a helpless victim. The claim of being strangled is purely a contemptuous and derogatory view towards China and its people. The argument that the evil American imperialism is strangling China is unfounded. If our neighbor cultivates a new type of apple and neither sells it to us nor shares it with us, that is their right. Can we say that our neighbor is strangling us? If the wicked American empire produces chips but refuses to sell or share them with us, can we say they are strangling us? If such an argument were valid, may I ask if you have sold or shared your newly invented treasure with your neighbor? Imagine you have just married a beautiful and charming wife, and your honeymoon is not even over, but your neighbor demands that you sell or share your wife with them. If not, they claim that you are strangling them. Is this reasonable? If you invent a new type of solar battery, but the raw materials must be purchased from your neighbor, who refuses to sell them to you, then we can say that your neighbor is strangling you. Who is truly strangling China's neck? A significant number of talented individuals from China have joined the enemy camp. Who forced them? A substantial amount of wealth from China has flowed into the homes of the enemy. Who orchestrated this? A large number of foreign investments and foreign companies are withdrawing. while numerous domestic businesses are shutting down. Who is responsible for this? The returning to mountains for rice cultivation, an intellectually deficient and nonsensical idea that goes against basic natural laws. Who came up with it? One moment it's returning forests for farming, then it's returning farming for forests, and then it's returning forests for farming again. Who is responsible for this wasteful and inconsistent act? Instead of using limited steel for blades, we have created urban management, agricultural management, and cultural management, which consume vast amounts of resources and manpower. Instead of focusing on construction and creating wealth, efforts are being made to control people and seek wealth through fines. Who has such farsightedness? Someone has invented a new model for production and life, which brings happiness to the Chinese people, but they have been labeled an illegal organization and subjected to long-term suppression. Illegal actions of those in power are deemed legal, while the legitimate actions of ordinary people are considered illegal. The truth is silenced, while lies run rampant. Who is confusing right and wrong? You see, the ones truly strangling China's neck are not the evil American imperialism, but the Chinese people themselves. 寄予联合国 Message to the United Nations. Xiefeng, May 16, 2023. Translated by ChatGPT. Edited by Jiejing. Dear United Nations, to speak honestly, I am a bit disappointed with you. You are already 78 years old, dedicating your whole life to promoting international security, economic development, social progress, human rights, civil liberties, political freedom, democracy, and global cooperation for peace. Especially in assisting people affected by natural and social disasters, you have made tremendous efforts and done your best. However, what is the current state of the world? Have your ideals been realized? Have your wishes been fulfilled? Russia's aggression against Ukraine has left you powerless, with nearly 100 million refugees worldwide that you cannot handle. You are unable to assist nearly 1 billion people threatened by hunger, and you are powerless in the face of escalating climate change and humanitarian crises. Where is the crux of the problem? The crux lies in the fact that you should prioritize teaching people to fish before giving them fish. However, you always focus on giving fish instead of teaching to fish. You fail to address the root causes and instead find yourself constantly fighting fires. It's like trying to eradicate flies without improving environmental hygiene. Can flies ever be completely eliminated? By always giving fish without teaching, how many fish do you have to give? Isn't it a constant struggle? How can we teach people to fish? By completely transforming the traditional modes of production and life of humanity. All the disasters and problems throughout human history stem from our modes of production and life. Unless we change the traditional modes, the conflicts, contradictions, and disasters of human existence will never end. How can we change the traditional modes of production and life? Life Genuine has already prepared both in theory and practice by proposing the model of the second home, which replaces the traditional modes of production and life. If you have countless questions and don't understand, come to me. I will provide a detailed explanation for you. 呼吁美国无条件接受非法越境者. Call for the U.S. to unconditionally accept illegal border crossers. May 14, 2023. Xiefeng. Translated by ChatGPT. Edited by Tong Xin. Hello, America. According to online news, on May 11th, the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security announced during a White House briefing that illegal border crossers would be deported. As a common citizen, I appeal to the U.S. to unconditionally accept illegal border crossers for the following reasons. If legal entry were possible, no one would choose to cross the border illegally. Illegality is a result of being forced, not a choice made by individuals. When people feel hopeless and have no other options for survival, any nonviolent, illegal means for survival are legal. The so-called law that blocks people's livelihood is itself illegal. A person who travels 1,000 miles or even 10,000 miles and endures countless hardships to seek refuge in the U.S., but is refused entry and then deported as illegal, is inhumane, cruel, and unworthy of respect. With abundant resources and as the world's leading superpower, the U.S. has the capacity and ability to accept illegal border crossers. As long as they can survive in their own country, Few people are willing to risk their lives and travel great distances to seek refuge in the U.S. Those who come to you have already trusted you. Do not reject those who trust you. Otherwise, any claims of democracy, freedom, human rights, and the rule of law are all false. Don't assume that all illegal immigrants are coming to reap the benefits of America's economic prosperity. If you accept them, 95% of illegal border crossers will become diligent wealth creators and steadfast defenders of the American system. The fewer people who abandon you, the more who come to you, the greater your glory. Glory is a noble symbol. The more illegal border crossers you accept, the more dignity and strength you will have. The whole world is watching you. If you deport illegal border crossers, you are extinguishing the flicker of hope in the hearts of the kind, hard-working masses of the world. You will betray the creed of "In God we trust" and lead to decline. He who wins the hearts of the people wins the world. He who loses the hearts of the people loses the world. Where the people's hearts go, there will be prosperity, civilization, strength, and eternal life. Where the people's hearts do not go, there will be poverty, ignorance, barbarism, and backwardness. May you be a land where the people's hearts go, rather than where their hearts do not. 平等平均民主背离文明 Equality, uniformity, democracy deviating from civilization. Xiefeng, June 22, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. Ideas of equality, such as equality before the greatest creator, all men are created equal, equality before the law, and equality of all beings, have deeply ingrained in human consciousness. Upon reflection, I believe these notions of equality have given rise to inequality and deviated from the path of civilization. Ideas like egalitarianism, equalizing wealth, and common prosperity seem aimed at eradicating oppression and exploitation, allowing everyone equal access to resources and welfare. However, in essence, they generate greater oppression and exploitation. Democracy may seem to leverage everyone's intelligence to make decisions and address all emotions and demands. Yet, in reality, it suppresses the saints, stifles the future, allowing erroneous thoughts and flawed systems to persist without correction, spreading continuously. Is equality before the greatest creator true? It depends on our understanding. If we acknowledge that everyone must face death, then equality before the greatest creator is right. If we understand that everyone will receive rewards or punishments based on their actions, then equality before the greatest creator is also right. But if we believe that everyone before the greatest creator must be equally handsome, equally beautiful, equally tall, enjoy the same benefits, eat 2 buns every meal, and meet the same fate, then equality before the greatest creator is wrong. Is all men are created equal true? Are they all born in royal or wealthy families or in slums? Are they all born with attractive features? Undoubtedly, everyone is not born equal. The true meaning of all men are created equal is that no one should face discrimination or oppression due to factors like birth, wealth, or intelligence, rather than being identical in all aspects from birth. Is equality before the law true? The laws of the wolves toward sheep are definitely unequal laws. Those in power can arbitrarily label others as illegal and impose sanctions. Therefore, equality before the law is an empty phrase. Whether it's equalizing wealth, egalitarianism, or common prosperity, all entail severe exploitation and oppression. If A produces 10 watermelons and B produces 2, then dividing 6 each between A and B is a form of exploitation and oppression for A, as well as a strike against one's initiative, creativity, and enthusiasm for work. What is civilization? Civilization is about justice, not equality, uniformity, or democracy. Civilization involves ensuring that the creators of wealth can securely enjoy the fruits of their labor. Protecting homes built through one's labor from external disturbances is civilization. Safeguarding the weak from the bullying of the strong is civilization. Allowing every individual's nature to flourish without constraints is civilization. Ensuring provisions for the elderly and care for the young is civilization. It is just for someone who hasn't contributed to face starvation or death by hunger, but it is undeniably unjust for someone who consistently contributes to experience the same fate. If laborers have food, clothing, shelter, and freedom of movement, that signifies a civilized society. If laborers have no way out, it contradicts civilization. Justice treats everyone impartially, without favoring a minority or majority, those in power or the masses, the rich or the poor, the elite or those with average intelligence and abilities. Immediate punishment for wrongdoers symbolizes societal civilization. A delayed punishment for wrongdoers, by 2 or 3 years, indicates that the entire society has not yet embraced the path of civilization and remains in a state of barbarism. My viewpoint is that the pursuit of equality, uniformity, and democracy will not lead humanity into a civilized society. Only by pursuing justice can humanity enter a civilized society. 雪峰大魔头又要妖言惑众了. Xie Feng, the great demon king, is spreading deceitful words again. Xie Feng, July 1st, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. Throughout my journey, those who have deceived and wronged me were the poor, the unfortunate, and the powerful. The affluent have never deceived or harmed me. Reflect on your experiences. Is it the same for you? I have grievances against Jesus Christ. You had divine powers. Why didn't you directly lead humanity into the kingdom of the greatest creator, instead of letting ordinary people endure over 2,000 years of suffering? How much longer must the people suffer under your watch? Haven't 2,000 years been enough? I have grievances against Buddha Shakyamuni. Supreme in heaven and earth, your teachings are boundless in power. Yet, after over 2,000 years, countless beings still cannot escape the sea of suffering. Is it your teachings' incompetence, or do they pale in comparison to the sorcery of demonic forces? I have grievances against Confucianism. Since Emperor Wu of Han adopted Dongzhongshu's, suppressing all other schools, venerating Confucianism policy, you Confucians have wielded power. However, over 2,000 years, how many common people have suffered and perished? What kind of life have they led? Your Confucian ideology ruled China for over 2,000 years, and the common people endured suffering for the same duration. You Confucians have truly deceived the common folks. I have grievances against the Chinese common people. For thousands of years, you have always hoped for the appearance of a wise ruler, yearned for an oriental sage to descend. Yet, for over 2,000 years, no wise ruler has emerged, and no sage from the East has descended to save you. Are you still waiting? Keep waiting. When your great-great-great-great-grandchildren are on their deathbeds, the wise ruler will finally appear. The sage will descend. You are irredeemably ignorant. I have grievances against Communist Party members. I do not know if I can voice my grievances against Communist Party members without facing censorship and suppression, but I'll cautiously raise a question. Is your oath to struggle for communism throughout your life genuine or false? If you encountered real communism, would you be afraid? What exactly is sinology, Guoxue? Is it the study that upholds the country, or as Lu Xun put it, when I open up China's history, there are no timelines. On every crooked page are written the words benevolence, righteousness, morality. I could not sleep. After careful scrutiny in the dead of night, I saw between the lines, the whole book was filled with 2 words, eating people. Following Lu Xun's speculation, sinology is the study of eating people. Since then, I'm too scared to read or listen to sinology. Contact with a virus causes infection. Does contact with the unfortunate infect you with their plight? Does contact with barbarism infect you with barbarity? No, it does not. Does contact with a black person infect you with blackness? Contact with a white person infects you with whiteness? Contact with an Asian infect you with Asianness? Contact with the poor infects you with poverty? Contact with the rich infects you with wealth? Near vermilion, one turns red. Near ink, one turns black. That cannot be true, right?
如何走出自己的认知边界?
How to break out of your cognitive boundaries. Xie Feng, July 13th, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. Cognitive boundaries are like walls. They both protect and limit us. If life is comfortable and easy, do not venture beyond your cognitive boundaries. Living within your own walls until old age can also be considered a decent life. But if you feel miserable, stifled, or oppressed within your walls, it's time to knock them down and step outside. Stepping beyond these walls, i.e., your cognitive boundaries, starts with admitting when you're wrong. If you always believe you're right, you'll never break free from those walls. The sufferings in this world are mostly created by those who think they're right. Those who endure suffering and hardship usually believe they are right. So, when you think you're right, you're already wrong. You've created cognitive boundaries, built walls, and constructed your own prison. For instance, for thousands of years, the Chinese people have anticipated the appearance of a wise ruler to save them. They now anticipate the arrival of an Eastern sage. This is a cognitive boundary. Without breaking this boundary, they'll forever remain in confinement. Instead of considering solving problems through legality and procedures, they perpetually hope for a wise ruler or an Eastern sage to save them. It's not just ignorance, it's sheer folly. Change the country or immigrate. This represents a major breakthrough in the cognitive boundaries of Indians. Currently, 32 million Indians have renounced their Indian citizenship to become citizens of other countries. How do these Indians who have relinquished their birth nationality for other countries fare? The current Prime Minister of the UK, Sajid Javid, is of Indian descent. In the US, many high-ranking executives in major tech companies like Microsoft and Google are of Indian origin. In 1993, in Zimbabwe, I noticed nearly half of the shops and cities were owned by Indians. Similarly, in various places like South Africa, Mozambique, Angola, Ethiopia, Botswana, Tanzania, I found numerous Indians engaged in business. In 2016, visiting Pacific Island nations like Fiji and Vanuatu, I discovered many shops were run by Indians. In 2017, coming to Canada and staying in various cities, I found that the owners and staff in the hotels I stayed at were mostly Indians. Even at the Walmart supermarket, the managers and most employees were Indians. If these dispersed Indians hadn't ventured beyond their cognitive boundaries and stayed in their homeland, they wouldn't have achieved such success. Breaking cognitive boundaries brought them opportunities, wealth, and a vast realm of life, ensuring a better future for their descendants. In our understanding, relatives are those connected by blood ties. Without blood relations, they are not considered family. Consequently, we end up with only a few relatives in our lives. However, if we break this cognitive boundary and consider everyone close and intimate as family, irrespective of region or race, without categorizing by status or position, we realize that we can have numerous relatives in this life. The life of someone with just a few relatives differs entirely from someone with many relatives. With only a few relatives, our scope, range, and life's boundaries are limited. But the more relatives we have, the broader our scope, range, and activities become. I have several strangers around me whom I treat as family, and as a result, I receive care and assistance from them, akin to family, even more effective than my own biological children. Graduate from school and find a job versus graduate from school and start a business represents two entirely different cognitive perspectives. If parents only intend for their children to graduate and secure a good job, then during technical school, college, or university, the focus will revolve around finding employment. But if parents intend for their children to start a business after graduation, their educational focus will entirely revolve around entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs tend to value practicality, while job seekers focus more on formalities. This difference, over time, results in a significant disparity in life experiences and perceptions, leading to different tastes in life. Without money, you cannot get things done is a cognitive boundary for some. With this belief, their entire life revolves around money, and over time, their thoughts and actions carry a sense of vulgarity, giving off a sense of superficiality, and they tend to ignore, even contempt the blessings like love, sexuality, morality, justice, the Tao, and spirituality. In fact, everyone lives within their own cognitive boundaries. For example, believing that death is the end of life. If someone holds this belief, they'll never find the door to heaven. It's hard for us to comprehend why some people choose to commit suicide. However, suicide occurs because within their cognitive boundaries, they cannot find reasons or opportunities to continue living. At this critical moment, if they could break free from these cognitive boundaries, they would realize, wow, life's path is so vast. Stepping beyond cognitive boundaries opens up a vast world.
创造和维护一片绿荫，
Creating and maintaining a green oasis. Xiefeng, July 28, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. The 2023 Canadian wildfires are widely known, sparked by drought. If rain nurtured every place constantly, wildfires would cease to exist. This year, even at the headquarters of the Life-Echanuan in Canada, the situation was no different. Drought had turned the 50-acre lawn from green to a dusty yellow, devoid of vitality. However, within 10 meters around the residential and guest buildings, there's a lush green area with blooming flowers, brimming with life. Why? There's no secret. It's just watering the lawn, using sprinklers to moisten it as rain would. Amidst drought and water shortages, the government restricts water usage. At our place, watering the lawn is permitted only between 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Watering the lawn is prohibited between 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So, it's impossible to water the entire 50-acre lawn, only maintaining the greenery around the residential and guest buildings. Watering can create and maintain a green oasis during drought. Likewise, using spirituality can create an idyllic haven amidst restless and despairing hearts. To create a green oasis, plants need water. To maintain it, timely watering is crucial. Every day, in the morning and evening, I timely water the plants, maintaining the greenery. To create an idyllic haven, a spiritual paradise, injecting spirituality and nourishment into people's hearts is essential. To maintain this spiritual paradise, timely spiritual nourishment is imperative. Every day, every month, every year, I timely nurture the spiritual heart of Chanyuan Celestials, maintaining a green oasis, the second home on earth. Without water, lawns will lose vitality during drought, becoming lifeless. Without spiritual nourishment, homes will crumble amidst the chaos and fall into silence.
看看自己有多幸福。
Take a look at how fortunate you are. Xiefeng, August 6, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. If every day you can bask in the radiant sunlight, feeling its warmth upon your skin, that's tremendous wealth, indeed, happiness. If every day you breathe in fresh air, surrounded by boundless clear skies and beautiful landscapes, congratulations, you're among the wealthiest in the world. Oh, what happiness! If your abode is graced by a clear river or a babbling brook, or if you have a serene lake to admire nearby, your days are enviable, such happiness. If each day you have enough food to satisfy hunger and a sheltered refuge for peaceful sleep, allowing for dreams without insomnia, you are among those blessed by the heavens. Rejoice, happiness. If you have a plot of land to cultivate or a pursuit that brings enduring joy, congratulations. You are a fortunate soul. If you have well-proportioned facial features, strong and agile limbs, healthy functioning internal organs, and a disease-free body, take pride. You are surely heaven's darling, among the luckiest in the world. If each day someone accompanies you for conversation, shares meals and work, you are blessed. If there are playful arguments, laughter, and jovial banter, my goodness, you must have had good karma in your past life. Your life is so fortunate. If you have a few opposite-sex confidants throughout your life who can share intimate moments with you, oh my, you are so fortunate. Your life is enviable, stirring envy and jealousy in others. If you possess all of the aforementioned conditions, then you are truly blessed with an abundant destiny. You must be a favored child of the greatest Creator. Do not seek happiness elsewhere. You are happiness itself, leading a blissful life. But if possessing all this leaves you dissatisfied, if you envy others or aspire to be a success, wanting fame and fortune, that's greed. It's being born amidst fortune, yet failing to recognize it, seeking trouble. Simply put, it's an ignorance of life, and you're a fool, an idiot, a blockhead.
人生24项财富你拥有几项？
Life's 24 treasures. How many do you possess? Xiefeng, August 6, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. In life, there are 24 treasures. If you possess them all, You are the most affluent person in the world. Even if you have half, 12 of them, you are not. Take a look at how many you possess. Sunlight, 2. Blue skies, 3. Drinking water, 4. Clean air, 5. Land to cultivate, 6. The ability to hear rooster crowing and birds singing, 7. Salt, 8. Something to do every day, 9. Clothes to wear, 10. Shelter to live in, 11. Food to fill your stomach, 12. Someone cares, loves, helps, and remembers you, 13. One or two intimate friends, 14. Someone you care, love, and remember deeply, 15. Enjoying watermelon and peaches in summer, 16. Access to a phone and books, 17. Regular visits from friends and family, or there are relatives and friends available to visit, 18. A healthy body, 19. No debts or owing money to others, 20. Faith and ideals, 21. Life has objectives, and there's a direction to life, 22. A heart willing to serve others, 23. Cheerful, optimistic, romantic emotions and sentiments, 24. Having plentiful sexual partners. If you possess these 24 treasures, you're a magnate in this world. Henceforth, do not envy emperors, wealthy individuals, or government officials because you are the most blessed person in the world. 回不去的故乡 Unreturnable hometown. Xiefeng. August 9th, 2023. Translation edited by Qinyu. Life's vicissitudes. Many places we long to visit can never be revisited. Many people we long to see can never be seen again. When we departed initially, if we knew that parting meant an impossible return or reunion, we would have taken another look, stored more memories of our hometown in the warehouse of our minds. Those easy goodbyes, back then, were never thought to be the final wave to those we yearned to meet. Each parting became a permanent farewell. Parting is easy, reuniting difficult. Life is long, but time and tide wait for no man. How priceless is this affection, yet what can be done about it? The wind and the moon mock me for being naive for every passing year. In the journey of life, things that once seemed ordinary, mundane, and commonplace were not cherished at that time, nor considered precious. However, upon realizing the inability to revisit or re-experience them, those experiences became incredibly invaluable. Year after year, day after day, moment after moment, we've always been amidst precious experiences. Yet, due to their apparent ordinariness, we neglected their value and significance. However, when the realization dawns that those experiences cannot be replicated, we discover the heavens and earth may last long, but sometimes emotions come to an end, yet this regret remains ceaseless. How much resentment in the west wind, unable to blow away the frown. Mutual hatred lacks trust. Mutual understanding reveals shallow seas. In the vast expanse of life's path, along with every acquaintance, there is a continual journey of fondness and regret. Once we recognize someone, before long, it turns into yearning, then resentment. How many deep affections and friendships have been severed across distant lands, yearning for reunions amidst landscapes of formidable mountains and flowing rivers, yet finding no way to come together again. Thus, we walk this road, leaving pieces of ourselves, journeying amidst longing, yearning to speak but remaining silent, truest when love cuts to the bone. Let's cherish moments by smiling when scolded by parents, for such chances are rare. Cherish those times when siblings tease, as sibling affection is deep as the sea. Once severed, the cost of regret is high. Cherish the moment when you meet someone, even if they complain. For someone you've been intimate with is life's blessing, the most worthwhile chapter of life, worth cherishing, worth growing old together with, sharing life's stories with. Cherish the friendships with neighbors, friends, and relatives. Endure when disagreements arise, for these moments constitute the landscape of our life's journey. What seemed insignificant in youth becomes the invaluable treasures of life when old age and sunset arrive. Life is sorrowful. The hometown we cannot return to, the people we cannot see anymore. Life is joyful. The countless amorous feelings and inexhaustible scenery along the way. Though the mountains are high and the waters vast, full of doubt for the road ahead, I have a way to avoid sorrow and embrace joy. If you wish to reunite with loved ones year after year and share endless moments of bliss on the journey of life, then embark on the journey of immortality together, leaving behind the bone-deep yearning. The path of immortality and celestial love is layered and vast, rivers merging with rivers, peaks connecting with peaks. Flowers bloom on the hills, fragrance fills the path. Phoenixes echo in the valleys, forest murmurs. Small bridges overflowing waters, ancient pavilions on long roads, heartfelt conversations, hand in hand toward the horizon, extraordinary scenery awaits.
了解自然之力，借助自然之力。
Understanding the force of nature, employing its power. Xiefeng. August 11th, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. The most sensitive, unimaginable, miraculous, potent, intimidating, and unchallengeable force in the universe is the power of nature. It permeates the operation of the cosmos and all human activities, both shaping and influencing the success, failure, destiny, and prospects of everyone. Nature's power comprises both visible and invisible elements. The visible includes phenomena like typhoons, hurricanes, earthquakes, torrential rain, among others. The invisible encompasses the seemingly commonplace forces that make seeds germinate and grow, keep the celestial bodies moving, sustain the cycles of the seasons, and even cause disasters in an instant. A person of integrity, though not actively seeking fortune, the heavens guide them unexpectedly to achieve their heartfelt aspirations. A devious individual, despite craftily avoiding misfortune, the heavens intervene at their cunning moments to seize their soul. The force behind guiding unexpectedly and seizing their soul is the unseen power of nature. A tiny seed can grow into a towering tree. A small fertilized egg can develop into an incredibly complex life. An ordinary person can become a world-shaking leader. A powerful empire can crumble. A prominent figure can be imprisoned or even executed. Behind all these occurrences lies the true power of nature. As one grows older, reminiscing about life, many pivotal moments are realized as beyond personal control, seemingly prearranged. No one wishes to face hardships and setbacks, yet they arrive unexpectedly. Some people suddenly rise to prominence only to fall abruptly, a sequence beyond their control, unexpected and unforeseen. Life seems to be governed by an elusive force that makes one sigh. The mysteries of heaven are divine. Human cleverness is of little use. The power of nature is enigmatic and unpredictable, but is there a pattern to follow? The Book of the Supreme Way's responsiveness teaches us, speak, see, and act in goodness. If 3 good deeds are performed in a day, blessings will come within 3 years. Speak, see, and act in evil. If 3 evil deeds are done in a day, calamities will come within 3 years. It truly reflects that misfortune and fortune are self-induced. This is the most straightforward and easily comprehensible rule of nature's power. Myriad complex phenomena teach us one principle. If you desire a fortunate, healthy, and happy life, do not invest in manipulation and adaptability, do not exert efforts in amassing wealth or networking. Instead, focus on nurturing your soul garden. Avoiding wrongdoing is the safest path to preventing stumbles in life. By dedicating oneself, accumulating virtues, bringing goodness, joy, and happiness to others, society, and nature, employing the power of nature, life becomes smoother and one can evade disasters. However, if one brings pain and harm to others, society, or nature, the force of nature will inevitably administer a corresponding punishment. Everything is born, grows, is punished, and eventually perishes by nature. In harmony with nature, there is birth and growth. In opposition to nature, there is punishment and destruction. Desiring to reach heaven, do not exert effort in gong, methods, techniques, or intelligence. Avoid investing in complex matters. Instead, focus on the simplest task, cultivating your inner soul garden. The force of nature will generously reward those who maintain a beautiful soul garden. 乞丐的启示. The lesson from a beggar. Xiefeng. August 13th, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. What's the primary characteristic of a beggar? Rural beggars carry empty bowls, going door to door seeking food. Urban beggars occupy street corners, extending their hands for money. Their common trait: they seek alms from others. Anyone who extends their hand, seeking alms from others, is a beggar. This enlightens us. Anyone not creating or unwilling to serve others for sustenance will eventually become a beggar. Beggars are not destitute. Some are physically capable and able-bodied, while others possess great wealth. Their common psychological trait is stinginess. They are unwilling to utilize their abilities or wealth and seek to gain without effort. In life, one must persistently engage in at least one of these four activities. 1. Creating material wealth. 2. Cultivating spiritual wealth. 3. Nurturing soul wealth. 4. Serving others. If one engages in none of the above, irrespective of their status, be it an emperor or a commoner, wealthy or poor, official or common citizen, religious or non-religious, famous or just one among many, they are essentially beggars. The antonym of a beggar is a benefactor, someone who selflessly gives material, spiritual, or soul wealth without expecting anything in return. Those who offer service without anticipating a reward are benefactors. A benefactor is someone with the compassionate heart of a bodhisattva. They are the truly wealthy ones. Those who, despite being materially poor, bring joy to others are not beggars but wealthy individuals. In conclusion, anyone who does not create wealth or offer service yet continuously depends on external resources and services from others is a beggar. Once reduced to a beggar, one loses the dignity of a living being and forfeits the eligibility to ascend to heaven. 让我们开始学说话. Let's start learning to speak. Xiefeng, August 18th, 2023. Translation edited by Qinyu. Firstly, I repent to the greatest creator because I have uttered many improper words. From now on, I'll speak cautiously, avoiding creating suffering due to inappropriate words. Words spoken by the mouth have the power to revive life, to turn around situations, to bring light in the darkest times, to provide warmth akin to spring, to uplift the despairing, to comfort the sorrowful, to ignite passion in desolate hearts, to show the dawn to the lost to be inspired and live positively thereafter. Some words even lead to enlightenment, becoming Buddha or celestial. Conversely, words spoken from human mouths can subtly kill, distort truths, provoke chaos, shatter the hopeful into desperation, break friendships, blur right and wrong, slander the innocent, portray black as white, instill fear, crush people's belief and confidence in life, lead one astray from the righteous path, mislead to the point of confusion, and transform individuals into malevolent beings. If one cannot master the art of words, it not only harms others and society but also affects relatives and friends, leaving behind boundless karmic obstacles for oneself, making escape from the cycle of existence unattainable. There are 8 types of speech that should never be uttered: passive, negative, and pessimistic, sowing discord and creating rifts in relationships, cursing others, complaining and grumbling, holding grudges, gossiping behind others' backs, sarcasm, ridicule, mockery, threats, violence, deceit, and tempting others to commit crimes, blasphemy against the greatest creator, spirits, masters, ancestors, or benefactors. Conversely, there are 8 types of speech one should wholeheartedly express: warm and comforting words, words that bring joy and happiness, uplifting and encouraging words, positive, optimistic, and constructive words, inspirational words fostering a longing for a better life, humorous and witty words that make people burst into laughter, praising and appreciating others and life itself, hymns and prayers to the ancestor of Buddha, the greatest creator. Speaking is an art and a form of cultivation. Apart from speaking words that benefit oneself without causing harm, the tone, expression, and attitude are also crucial. A gentle tone, a friendly expression, and a soft attitude, even while criticizing, make it easier for others to accept. Conversely, a harsh tone, stern expression, a disdainful and aggressive attitude, or even hysterics, even if the words spoken are truthful and beneficial, make it challenging for people to accept and might incite resistance. In life, those unable to speak properly will face difficulties and setbacks. On the other hand, those who are articulate will have advantages and will be a breath of fresh air to others, paving the way for a bright future. Have you learned to speak well?
不同的路上